Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Mohammad Nahid Salman, Assistant Professor of Ad-Din Akis Medical College, Khulna. From our previous classes, we have already known about the substance which are reabsorbed from the proximal convoluted tubule and the main reasons of maximum reabsorption occurring in the proximal convoluted tubule. Today, I will repeat it for your better understanding. First of all, 65% of the total tubular load is reabsorbed from the proximal convoluted tubule, and certain substances like glucose, amino acid, some vitamins and acetoacetate from all three ketone bodies, only acetoacetate is completely reabsorbed from the proximal convoluted tubule. Why these four substances and the 65% of total tubular load is reabsorbed from the proximal convoluted tubule? We have already known that the main reason of this maximum reabsorption is tubular epithelial cells of the proximal convoluted tubules are highly metabolic cells, as because these cells contain an extensive number of mitochondria, and we know that mitochondria are the source of energies, so large amount of energies are expenditure occurs here. Then we knew about the extensive brush border. There is the presence of extensive brush border which will increase the absorptive surface area in the proximal convoluted tubule. And then we knew about the multiplication of the basal channels. This multiplication of the basal channels helps to increase the basal surface area for the maximum reabsorption of substance in the proximal convoluted tubule. And last of all, tight junction between the tubular epithelial cells, that means zonula occludens are not too tight here, that means these cells are loosely adherent and these channels will permit the maximum reabsorption of this substance. Today I will discuss about the mechanism of the reabsorption processes of various substances. Today's topic is sodium reabsorption. Before entering the main topic, we have to understand about the normal anatomy of the renal tubular epithelial cells. So first of all, I will draw simple diagram of a very typical nephron. So this is a very simple diagram of a typical nephron. From this diagram, what are the informations we can get? This is the afferent arteriole and this is the efferent arteriole, and in between these two afferent and efferent arteriole, extensive capillary system which is known as the glomerulus. It is a high pressure capillary bed, and this basin like structure is called Bowman's capsule. Glomerular filtrate are formed here, and this is the proximal convoluted tubule and this is the loop of Henle, and this portion of the nephron is known as distal convoluted tubule, then collecting tubule and collecting duct. And now I will cross section it from here and will enlarge it for your better understanding. So this is our cross-sectioned and enlarged diagram of the proximal convoluted tubule portion, and this is the end portion of the Bowman's capsules, and this is the proximal convoluted tubule, and in this tubule, this passage is known as the lumen, and these cells, here I draw the nucleus of these cells. These cells are called renal tubular epithelial cells. And from this diagram, we can get there are two surfaces of these renal tubular epithelial cells. This surface is adhered to the lumen, the main passage which is present in between the proximal convoluted tubule. So this surface is called luminal surface, and these epithelial cells, a single layer epithelial cells, is rest upon a basement membrane, and this is the basement membrane. On these basement membranes, a single layer of renal epithelial cells rests, and that's why this surface is known as the basal layer. So what we have got from this diagram, proximal convoluted tubule contains a single layered epithelial cells which are known as renal tubular epithelial cells, and these cells has two surfaces. First one is the luminal surface which is adhered to the lumen of PCT, and the second surface is basal surface, or we can call it as the basolateral surface, as because this surface is closely in contact with the basal layer. So this is the information we can get from this diagram. Now I will draw another picture which will help us to know about the reabsorption process of different substance from the proximal convoluted tubules. Now we have enlarged the previous figure. What are the informations we can get from this diagram? These are the renal epithelial cells, and this is the luminal surface, and this is the basolateral surface, and beside this proximal convoluted tubule there is presence of another capillary system that is known as peritubular capillaries, as because it is around the peri means around, as because it is around the tubules, so it is called peritubular capillaries, and this is the peritubular capillaries, portion of peritubular capillaries. And in between the peritubular capillaries and the renal tubular epithelial cells, there is a presence of interstitiums. So discussion of the mechanism of reabsorption of any substance, what we have to memorize it, what we have to understand about it, that is three important things. First of all, a renal tubular epithelial cells. Second, there is a thin layer of interstitium, and then the capillary systems. The substance at first filtered from the glomerular capillary system into the Bowman's capsules, and these glomerular filtrate will come towards the tubular lumen, and from the lumen this substance and the water molecules will be reabsorbed into the cell. First of all, the reabsorption occurs. The transport process will occur from the lumen into the cell, and then the substance will cross the basolateral surface and enter into the interstitiums, and from the interstitiums it will go into the capillary system which is known as ultrafiltration or bulk flow. So from our previous class we have already known that the substance and water molecules will be transported. These two pathways are, first one is intracellular pathway and the second one is paracellular pathway. Today I will discuss about the intracellular or transcellular pathway, and we'll discuss later about the paracellular pathway. So this is the simple mechanism in a nutshell. The mechanism of transcellular pathway, the substance or water molecules will go from the lumen into the cell, tubular epithelial cell first, and from the cell it will go, and from interstitium it will enters into the capillary system by ultrafiltration or bulk flow. So, as we know, the 65% of the tubular load, that means sodium ion, chloride ion, bicarbonate, calcium and water molecules are reabsorption from the proximal convoluted tubule, and the 100% of certain substance that are glucose, amino acid, acetoacetate and some vitamins are reabsorbed, completely reabsorbed from the proximal convoluted tubules. Now I will discuss about the reabsorption mechanism of sodium ion from the proximal convoluted tubules.